There is no coincidence why the DNC chose this developing company to make this app. And then there's no coincidence that it completely failed, and there's no coincidence that Pete Buttigieg donated that much money to them, and there's no coincidence that the DNC decided to do their own recount for quality control. What quality? What inconsistencies are you talking about? Tom Perez, you need to resign, dude. You are an embarrassment to the Democratic Party. You are an embarrassment to this nation. You are the most unpatriotic person I've ever seen. You're putting your thumb on the weight of democracy, and I'm saying this in defense of Sanders, not only Yang, because it's freaking dirty. I disagree with Sanders on a lot of shit, but the way y'all have been doing him since 2016 is not only corrupt, but it's fucking disgusting. You disgust me, Tom Perez. How's it, Yang and dudes and dudettes? Pour a whole bunch of gravy. Make sure that like button gets smashed. Put some taters on the comment section, you know what I'm saying, guys? Because, man, I am getting heated. This stuff is not even cool. Tom Perez, you do need to resign, dude. You need to resign. But before I even get into freaking launching in on your ass, let's talk about these Iowa caucus results. So, with only 71% reporting in after the quality control by the DNC, Sanders, by all on-the-ground reporting, Sanders was at 34% of the total votes. Okay, he's already got the popular vote. But then after the quality control and then the DNC took over the counting, Pete Buttigieg is up. It's almost like they took all the weighted rural states, which Yang was doing very well in, and I'll prove that to you here in just a second. It's like they gave all the weighted rural states to Pete Buttigieg, giving him more delegates but less popular votes after the recounting voting when he was in second, not far second from Sanders, but definitely second on the ground reporting. Elizabeth Warren was in third, about what she is. Andrew Yang was above Amy Klobuchar. Joe Biden was below Amy Klobuchar. So what happened? How in the world, after this this app goes down and the DNC does their air quotes recount, does Pete Buttigieg outpace Sanders, and then Yang drops from I'll show you the sort of support he had here in just a second, on par with Amy Klobuchar, what she is now, all the way down to 1. And Biden gets a huge boost when he wasn't even, when he was lower than, and now look, I'll show you. Let's go ahead and look through this real quick. All right. This person says, misspoke, received 15% to be viable. Order of finish in this tiny precinct. Yang, Sanders, Biden, Warren. Yang, Sanders, Biden, Warren. Not even Pete Buttigieg, okay? All right. All right, okay. Look down here, Yang with 14. Let's go up here. It says Yang gets a delegate awarded in Carter Lake Precinct. Warren 1, Yang 1, Pete 1, Bernie 2, Biden 2. That's pretty close. Here's huge crowds coming out for him at Drake University. Let's see, 6 delegates at 40%. The caucus, Andrew Yang's and Yang Gang in my precinct. It's a different precinct. Aha. First alignment, Sanders, 154, Buttigieg, 102, that's about right. Warren, 93, it's about right. Yang, 69, that's about right. You don't see no Amy Klobuchar, you don't see no Joe Biden, okay? Pete in first place, Yang and Bernie tied for second. Everyone else, not viable. Here we go. Yang picks up 1 delegate in precinct 3, Joe Biden 3, Sanders 2, Buttigieg 2, Yang 1. Yang Gang, if you haven't proven myself that I don't know what else I can do, 6 delegates and 40% of the precinct. Joe Biden 3, Elizabeth Warren 3, Sanders 3, Yang 6, 40% of the caucus. Yang delegates 6, the same one, my bad. Sanders 43, Yang 14, Warren 12, nobody else viable. Yang 12, Amy 25, Biden 17, Warren 18. Warren 2, Bernie 1, Biden 1, Buttigieg 1, Yang 1. Oh, that's nice to look at. Which candidate has the most potential to unite the country? Yang, 82.4%. Oh, look, this is where whoever this guy is, not Chris Cuomo. I don't know who the hell this guy is. But this guy, look, Andrew Yang is outpolling Biden in Des Moines, Iowa. That's a big place with a lot of people. Quality control equals DNC rigged results. Here we go. Yang 29, Amy 25, Biden 17, Warren 18. 3 for Buttigieg, 2 for Sanders, 2 for Warren, 2 for Yang. Council Bluffs. Look here, they got screwed in my precinct. They didn't tell us what the first alignment happened. No speech allowed. When did it happen? They never let us know the count or announced anything. We were still filling out top 1 and top 2 choices. Fraudulent. There was on the stream we was watching Zach and Matt show, and it didn't even look like they knew how to take the votes. People had to go up there and correct them, the actual citizens. Oh, and check this out. As the polls were coming in, as people would come into the caucus, these different precincts, and sign their names of who they want to vote for, Andrew Yang had 23,645 total votes. 23,645 total votes. Why did that translate into 1%? Something is off here, and it has to do with that freaking recount. So that's why, Tom Perez, you need to step down. I'm also about to get into Pete Buttigieg here for a second, because he was on the board of this shadow thing, and him and Biden donated some money to them. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into this, because Tom Perez resigned. Trends. DNC chair under fire as Iowa disaster favoritism for billionaire oligarch Bloomberg. The Democratic establishment has been screaming that our movement is sowing divisiveness and is going to ruin party unity, but they're nailing that to the wall by themselves. Calls for Tom Perez to step down as the head of Democratic National Committee grew louder Tuesday in the aftermath of the Iowa caucus fiasco, in which party mismanagement of the process delayed the results from Monday night's contest and left the 2020 Democratic presidential primary in disarray. The Iowa caucus debacle is so insulting to the candidates, their volunteers, the caucus goers, and the DNC's own process. Tom Perez has to resign. Now, here's the thing. Tom Perez is coming up to have to step down anyways. He's only got less than a year left. He is taking all this money from people like Bloomberg. Bloomberg sent 3 individual contributions for over $100,000. And then, no mistake, after that, they decide to accommodate, change the rules so Bloomberg can get into the debate stage. While Cory Booker asked for more racial diversity because that's what the Democratic Party runs on, they wouldn't allow him in the debate. Tulsi Gabbard asked for a lowering and just qualifiers to have more voices heard on the debate. Andrew Yang asked just for fair polling, so he could actually be on the debate. Give us the actual polls that's always been released every single time. They wouldn't do that. But for Bloomberg, they would do that. And then we have over here, Smuggo Pete Buttigieg, who donated, him and Biden both donated to this shadow, whatever this app is. Voters were left scratching their heads Monday night after Democratic caucus failed to deliver final results. Party officials stated that technology problems led to reporting inconsistencies trail to validate the results. If you're going to come in and do a recount, use a freaking third party, an independent, unbiased source, DNC. This is fucked up. But everything shows Yang, even if those are just those precincts that Yang was doing over here, even if those are just those few precincts, it would translate into more than 1%. I know it's only 71% of the reporting is coming in, but as the DNC, checks off the rest of the percentage points, that they're just throwing Yang shit into the fucking trash. Where is the transparency? It says, this is what Pete Buttigieg says, by all indication, we're going on to New Hampshire victorious, the candidate told supporters Monday night. There was 0 results in. How did he know that he's going to be coming out on top? Buttigieg is not only raising ire, some Democrats are now calling for the resignation of DNC Tom Perez. I would call for an investigation into Buttigieg's campaign. Liberal advocacy group Digital Left set up a petition website to collect signatures after the DNC and the Iowa Democratic Party engineered a nightmare the night of the Iowa caucuses, as the morning of the group collected over 1,000 signatures. I will link that website below so you guys can sign that so we can get Tom Perez out of here. Election experts were quick to point out the new app Shadow that was used by caucus managers to tabulate the report results. Data collected by the app was also fed into Democratic voter database. According to their website, the Shadow team includes professionals that have implemented technology for Hillary for America, Obama for America, Google, Kiva, Apple, AFL-CIO, and the DNC. Shadow is led by ex-Hillary staffers and people with personal relationships with Pete's campaign. Pete's campaign gave money to Shadow, and the only campaign to do so. No, I think Biden's campaign was also the one. Pete put out a tweet storm about how he won with 0 results in. Communications Director Mandy McClure said in a statement Monday, "We found inconsistencies in the reporting of 3 sets of results. In addition to the tech systems being used to tabulate results, we are also using photos of results and paper to validate all results matched and ensure that we have the confidence and accuracy in the numbers we report." What are these inconsistencies? Give us some freaking transparency. What is inconsistent? Is it inconsistent that Sanders and Yang was doing well and you guys had to knock them down a peg? Is that what it is? Yang should have been upwards of 8 to almost 10%. That's still low. I mean, it's not viable, but it's not freaking 1%. This is wrong. This is so corrupt. It's so corrupt. Even Trump weighed in. You can read that if you want to. You can pause there. So, Iowa, Biden and Pete paid Hillary campaign veterans who made that failed app. I love how Pete's freaking ad is right there, dude. That's freaking disgusting to look at. All right. The Democratic presidential campaigns of Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg paid the firm that reportedly built the failed Iowa Caucus app that partly rendered the results of the caucus unavailable to end Monday night's contest. In the absence of results, Buttigieg declared victory. We already know that. The firm Shadow accepted a $1,220 payment from Joe Biden campaign for text messaging and 2 payments totaling $42,500 from South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg's campaign for software rights and subscriptions. That could mean a lot. According to the Federal Election Commission filing, the Shadow firm was also paid by Kristen Gillibrand's failed presidential campaign in the state Democratic parties of Iowa, Texas, and Nevada. Shadow Inc.'s CEO Gerald Nemera served as a senior product manager and director of product for Hillary for America during Clinton's 26th presidential campaign. There is no coincidence why the DNC chose this developing company to make this app, and then there's no coincidence that it completely failed, and there's no coincidence that Pete Buttigieg donated that much money to them, and there's no coincidence that the DNC decided to do their own recount for quality control. What quality? What inconsistencies are you talking about? Tom Perez, you need to resign, dude. You are an embarrassment to the Democratic Party. You are an embarrassment to this nation. You are the most unpatriotic person I've ever seen. You're putting your thumb on the weight of democracy. And I'm saying this in defense of Sanders, not only Yang, because it's freaking dirty. I disagree with Sanders on a lot of shit, but the way y'all have been doing him since 2016 is not only corrupt, but it's fucking disgusting. You disgust me, Tom Perez. I would love to put humanity first right now, and I would love to not, bash you as I'm doing, but it's kind of hard when you're not putting humanity first. This is sad. So, to leave on a good note, let's go to New Hampshire and let's show out. If the Democratic Party comes in again to do their recounts again every step of the way and just keep rigging this election, we need to sue them. That's just the way it is. They need to be sued. There's ways we can do this, but, I do also want to leave on a really good note. So, in Iowa, Bill Clinton was almost dead last. I mean, by all accounts, he's dead last. He's now at 1.7%. Uh-oh. Biden, get off here. He's now at 1.7%, but he's pretty close to 2.40%, right? Robert Kerry down here. That's pretty much dead last. In a Democratic primary where only Bill Clinton, Paul, and Tom Harkin were running, right? So not as crowded as I get that, not as crowded. And Pete was doing well in this Iowa caucus. It's just he wasn't doing as well as they're reporting now. But Bill Clinton went on to win the whole damn thing. He only had 2.54% in Iowa, and that translates to less than what Yang has now because of more people in the race, right? Because there's less people in the race, Bill Clinton just automatically, there's less competition, so he had more percentages. So he actually less on average than what Yang would be if you consider how many people's in the race. So no worries, guys. No worries. We got to keep fighting. This means we got to fight harder. The DNC is shady as hell. And for people who say there's no real proof. Look, the lack of transparency, the lack of telling us what the inconsistencies was, the history of the DNC cheating in the past, the fact that they're changing the rules for Bloomberg but nobody else. is all you need to know to safely assume that what they're doing in Iowa is not in any way fair or accurate. And if you think that it is, you're probably a Hillary Clinton hack. It's just the way it is. Or a Pete Buttigieg supporter. One of the two. So don't worry, guys. Keep fighting. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to stay here. We're going to keep yanking. And let's get this thing going, guys.